abilities and energy to the things that I believe in, like this, and you know, I would love to make a lot of documentaries like this, but this one just kind of came to me, right? It wasn't, it was a real blessing. It's an incredible story, as Drew said. We couldn't believe it was true. And that these incredible people opened up and let us help tell it, and were open with us, and these interviews that were just amazing. Their willingness and their vulnerability, that's really what this was about. So our interests are in making things like this, but there's not an overarching strategy, I would say. We're just taking them, you know, as we see these great stories, we'll do our best to facilitate the people who can tell them really, really well.
And I think the other part that's really important is, you know, we had their support, but we still had to go get financing. So the studio that backed us, that backed Superpower, is what enables us to sit here. You know, it's a Hollywood company who believes that powerful stories have purpose and art can affect change, and that's why we're here, because of the studio.
Yeah, we all work hard at these jobs and couldn't do them without the support systems that we have, the various support systems that we all have. For me, I have a great family, so that would be, those are the people behind me. But look, this movie had a lot of producers because it required a lot of producers. It required a lot from a lot of producers, actually, and so I can turn that question over to Sarah as well, and to Drew. And no, Sarah. Yeah, Drew's behind me.
And Alan Maloney and Jennifer Pitcher on the YouTube team, and Blake Levin and Kevin Iwashima from fifth season, and Graham Taylor.
And Ned O'Neill from YouTube.
I mean, I think one of the things that is very difficult as a filmmaker is to realize a vision, because there's so many variables and agendas. And the thing that was so special with this team was, you know if you're working with Drew and Matt that you're going to be protected. You know they have the experience. You know that you're going to be able to bring your vision to life in a way that you have few opportunities in life. And then, Drew helped me bring on Sarah, and Bill helped us bring on Fabrica. And so there became this building of a family, of a team of collaboration, where each one of us was, it was very difficult to make this movie because of the stories, was carrying another.
Same thing that attracts me as an actor. If I respond intuitively to it and it's moving to me, then I'll try to get involved. And this was, with Nanad's very humble, but it's a very personal story for him, and to listen to him talk about it, it was really impossible for us not to want to be involved. From the moment we heard about this all the way through, it was a very hard production for the people who were day to day on it, for Sarah, for Drew, for Nanad, for Eric, for all of these people who were like grinding in the edit. For me, I would get these cuts, and each cut I would watch was better than the last cut, and it just kept getting better and better, and it was exactly what he said he was going to do. We would get on the phone and talk for an hour or two, and really, he was using me as a sounding board at that point. It's like, you get so close to a movie. Terrence Malick would call it getting snowblind, where you're so deep in the edit, it's very hard to see what you're. And so a lot of times he'd just ask me questions, or I'd ask him, he'd say, "Are you getting this in this section?" And I'd say, "Yeah, let me quick link you this other little section and tell me this is what I'm going for." And I'd say, "Yeah, you're." And then I'd say what he didn't want to hear, which is, "Okay, keep going." So they really had to grind, and it was but I'm just very proud to be associated with this. It's a beautiful movie, and it was just to meet everybody today for the first time. I've been looking at them on screen for a long time, even the raw interviews. I was telling Innes back there that just his raw interview that I saw before it got cut together. It was an incredibly moving experience, kind of watching, listening to them talk about what they lived through, and so for us, it was really, once we heard this story for Pearl Street, we just wanted to facilitate, and that was really our only role, and that's really all we were there to do.